I was, there's some people that I didn't get a chance to meet, but I talked with them. Uh, I wanted to meet James Lee. I didn't get a chance to meet James Lee. I didn't get a chance to meet Howard Williams, but through Jesse, I got to talk to Howard Williams. I was in contact with him by phone, and Howard had actually asked Johnny Williams and myself to represent him here, and what he did, but I declined because I'm not a JKD guy, and I appreciate the fact that he thought enough of us to say that. And he was talking about training us, but I, I I said, I'm doing the stuff that I got from Jesse and Ed and Jim, and no disrespect to you, but that's cool. But I'm not a JKD guy. And I don't want to misrepresent you either. But I like Howard Williams stuff, Ted Warren stuff. I like all the stuff that they're doing. It's just that I like to focus on the Seattle group because that's the core. Again, like what Ed said, stick to the core stuff. Everything comes from the core. Everything germinates from that core, right? All these guys brought something to it. All the guys in LA brought something to the table too. It was a different Bruce that went there. It was a different Bruce that went to Oakland. It was a different Bruce that landed and in Seattle. Those that time with Jesse and those guys spent with him. I like that time because the Oakland guys, they knew Bruce, they knew James Lee, and there was a relationship there. But I know they had a similar relationship with Bruce and the LA Chinatown guys. They had a similar relationship with Bruce, but Bruce was 19 years old, 18, 19 years old when he met Jesse. And these guys were running around, joking around, playing practical jokes on people and on each other. That's what I mean. They said that Bruce stuttered, and Jim said this, Ed said this. Jesse would piss Bruce off sometimes just to make him stutter. Man, come on, Bruce can kill you. And then he gets to, get Jesse type thing. Okay, but I'm not teasing Bruce. I'm just saying they found him. It's like your boys. They're just guys fooling around with each other, having fun. Let's go grab something to eat after working out. Let's do this. Let's do that. They're pulling practical jokes on each other. So this is not my seafood, this, that, and the other. This is we're boys.
Exactly.
Hanging out with my buddy. All right. And these guys, God rest their souls, they're all buried next to each other. Wow. How close is that?
Yeah, like brothers.
Yeah. How close is that? I mean, Jesus Christ, and then because I was in the martial arts, and because I went to a demo that my friend told me about, and I kept the guy's number because he was teaching a physical education course at Circle Campus, and I worked at the University Medical Center, U of I Medical Center. I kept his phone number, and then after my injury, I said, this might be something I can get into. And because of that, I know these guys. Because of that, like I said, I saw Bruce Lee in the Green Hornet. Because of that, I can say his first student was like my father.
Wow.
He was one of my best friends. He was like a dad. He was like my father to me. Ed Hart, the same thing. Jim DeMar, the same thing. Now Leroy Garcia. If I didn't go to that demo, I get emotional about this. I'm sorry, but if I didn't go, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Exactly.
We wouldn't know each other.
Yep, that's true.
Things don't just happen; they happen just. Right? If I had gone to Seattle, stayed in Seattle, I wouldn't have met Fernando.
Yeah.
Through Fernando, I met Daryl. Through Angel, I met Fernando. I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have the 2 kids my wife and I had. I have 3 children, but my wife and I have 2. And I think, just because of certain things, right? Leroy said the only reason he met Bruce, he read an article in Esquire magazine on gun fu, and his wife at the time uh, came home when he was talking about this gun fu thing. He said, "Oh, I saw this demo at Edison Tech with these two guys from my class, one black guy, one Chinese guy, and they did a gun fu demonstration." And Leroy said, "I don't care how you do it, but I need to find out where they practice and who they are, and I want to meet them." So she didn't know Jesse, just the fact that he was in her class, and she didn't know Bruce, but she went and she introduced herself to Jesse. And Leroy said that weekend he was there knocking on the door, and Jesse opens the door and said, "Is this where you?" And Leroy said, "Is this where they're practicing gun fu?" And Jesse said, "Yeah, why?" And he introduced himself, and Jesse invited him in. And Ed came out the way that he normally does, with in his shorts and a cup of coffee in one hand and a cigarette in the other. And he had just gotten up, and he introduced himself to Ed, who was Bruce's second, because Jesse and Ed were roommates at the time. They were both going practicing judo at the Seattle dojo. Mm-hmm. And Ed asked Jesse, "Hey, look, we're all trained in the same dojo, and you hear blah blah blah. Why don't we, get a place together, blah blah blah." And Howard Hall, because they were all doing judo at the same dojo. Mm-hmm. And Jesse's friend told him about a demo that Bruce did, and that's how he saw Bruce. And then he found out Bruce is going to Edison Tech, and he's going to Edison Tech. You see, all this stuff. None of us are supposed to know each other, but we all know each other. We're all linked now because of this.
Exactly.
That's just amazing.
It is amazing.
And now I know I got friends all over the world, guys, because of this, because of Jesse. Ed, Bruce. I didn't know Bruce, but I know Jesse. Mm-hmm. But I know Bruce through Jesse, through Ed, through Jim, through Leroy, through Howard. His interpretation of what he got from Bruce and what he got from James Lee. There's a story that people kind of gloss over now, but James Lee was something else. This guy, Iron Paul, doing it's too bad, people need to research, one of my favorite sayings is, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it."
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
So, again, that's still question one. We haven't done anything else. What do you want to ask me?
There's what's one of your favorite moves that you like to actually incorporate, or at least when you start bringing in your friends or
like, okay. I laugh when you say moves because my wife says, these moves you do, your moves.
Well, you're dancing, like Steve said, right?
Okay.
What's your dancing? You're dancing with
that stuff. It for me, I like to depends on what a person is.
Okay.
Okay, and what I show them,
So is it? So my question to you is it just the energy of that person that you then show them a different type, or is it? Do you train them in a different aspect each?
I train everybody the same way. I don't teach any. Like when I have kids in the class, I don't show them anything different than I teach the adults. Okay. They do the same reps. They do the same moves. I've had kids as young as 10 or 9 going on 10 who are now in college or out of college.
Oh, wow.
But they did the same thing that the adults were doing. I remember Manny, one of my guys here, and he and his daughters would come, and Kira is the youngest, and everybody hate when Kira would come to class because he was the youngest, but let her set the pace because she would do rep after rep after rep after rep, and she just loved it. So they hated when she, okay, we're gonna do this. And she just said it. Okay, well, that's what we're doing. But we're gonna work on this. We're gonna work on this. Well, how many reps we do? Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. I try and look at everybody's stuff
Mhm.
and make it fit them. Not make it fit. It's gonna fit them.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to make you a copy of me. I'm still finding out who I am. There's some things that I do that I don't do anymore.
Mhm.
Some things I do differently that I didn't do before.
Mhm.
I ask myself this, okay, the Mike Lee was doing this stuff now, and the Mike Lee that was doing karate then. Okay, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
But both those guys could fight. That other guy had youth on his side. This guy's got experience
Mhm.
and the stuff. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Then there's the Mike Lee who's doing Wing Chun Do. And Mike Lee is doing non-classical and that stuff.
Mhm.
Doesn't to say that Wing Chun Do is inferior or superior. No, it's just different experiences. And does that say this stuff doesn't work? No, I blend that stuff in
Okay.
because you say technique. Okay, back to your question. Jim said, I think best, it's not the technique. Once you understand the system and the principles, it's principles of the system.
There you go.
We understand the principles, techniques don't matter. Techniques become endless.
Okay.
You understand the principles of this stuff. And that's why I like the way Jim DeMille, he put the stuff that his interpretation, what he got from Bruce,
Mhm.
is Wing Chun Do. But he put those principles, those early principles, because even his evolution, everybody's evolving.
Mhm.
Jesse was evolving to the day he died. But he couldn't touch hands with those guys. If he could still talk to them and tell them,
Mhm.
he's going to tell them, do this, do that. So he was still developing. I'm still learning from Jesse. He's gone.
Yeah.
I'm still looking at video stuff of Jesse that I may see on YouTube or stuff that I have.
Mhm.
I'm still learning from him. I'm still learning from Ed. I'm still learning from Jim. Right? Leroy says, well, I haven't taught you. Yes, you have. I talked to Leroy yesterday, and he said, out of all the guys for that original group, he was the best kicker. Shit, I've touched hands with Jesse. I've touched hands with Jim. I've touched hands with Ed Hart.
Mhm.
And I couldn't get away from those guys. Leroy said, I didn't like to stick. He said, but I could stick. But he said, when he and Jesse and Jim had a school together for a while, he said, Jim taught. That was his way of teaching and taught. But he taught. Jesse taught. And Leroy said, I sparred with everybody. So his Leroy's thing and Jesse's thing was similar. So Leroy said, okay, we're gonna do 1,000 punches with the right hand, and then we're gonna do 1,000 punches with it. And then, but Leroy didn't just say it, he did it with them.
Okay.
Then do 1,000 kicks with the right leg and then 1,000 kicks with the left leg.
Mhm.
That may not look pretty, but damn, those guys were effective.
Mhm.
So Leroy's 84. And I'm talking to Leroy yesterday. He said, oh yeah, I just got back. Before he was out there putting the fence posts in.
Yeah.
He said he went to work out at the Y in the pool.
Mhm.
He says, yeah, I don't. I said, yeah, I'm telling the guys about this, and I'm learning from you. He said, I'm not teaching them. Yeah, you are teaching me. But he keeps saying it, but you are. He says, yeah, I do some of the forms I learned from Bruce in the pool, in the water. I do some Tai Chi. He said, now he's 84.
Mhm.
He's had some surgical procedures done where, like me, he's been busted up a couple times, right?
Mhm.
But he says, I throw 50 kicks with my right leg. I throw 50 front kicks. I throw 50 front kicks with my left leg. I throw side kicks, 50 side kicks. I throw 50 back kicks. He's 84. I'm 67. I call myself an old man. This guy, God bless him, is making me, oh yeah, I'm old. No way. He's still kicking ass and taking names. Got a fresh legal pad, a new pen. He's ready to go.
Great.
So, but it's understanding the principles of what we do that's important more so than technique.
There you go.
There's a few core techniques. Like today, Roger and Jim and I were talking about one technique that I've seen people in American Kempo do called raining lance, where you redirect the guy's knife overhand, knife thrust uh, into his leg, and you finish the guy off from there. Well, that technique's in American Kempo. It's in Bikini Tersha, Kali. It's in Hapkido. Same technique,
Mhm.
different interpretation, right?
Okay.
So Ed Parker, the founder of American Kempo, I met Ed a couple of times, but he said, I like he said about things. You know, I like to quote a lot of people about things. You know, they made an impression of him. Ed Parker said there's always 3 points of view to anything: the two people involved and the observer.
Okay.
Right?
Mhm.
So you got to be able to look at it from all those points of view. You know, I have my point of view. Does that mean I'm right? No. You have your point of view. Does that mean you're right? No.
Mhm.
You know, the observer. Right? So again, if the answer is 4, as long as you get to the answer.
True.
So principles are more important than technique. All right, some core techniques, yes. In the third book, Jesse says everybody needs a carefully designed mini system. All right, so Jesse said there's only he doesn't like stances because stances tell you how to attack somebody.
Okay.
Uh, he says where a guy stands tells you how to attack. So he says basically, if I'm attacking a guy with my hands over the arm, under the arm, on the right side, over the arm, under the arm, on the left side. Right now, you see this elbow flying out. That's not the way he did. I'm just making a motion. So it's either over, under, or down the middle. That's it. But really, if you want to work that, it's even simpler than that. It's not over, under, right, left. It's over, under, and down the middle. It's only 3.
Okay.
But that's just me saying that. Do I say, oh, Jesse was wrong? No. He said this. I'm just saying, I'm saying what he said.
Mhm.
But I said, if you really want to move that down to something even smaller, that's not that Mike Lee's right and Jesse was wrong. You're saying, don't worry about right or left. It's either over, under, or down the middle. Right?
Mhm.
But you do need to go right or left. It's like where this finger jab technique, entering with a finger jab, right?
Mhm.
Is this an inside technique or an outside technique? Depends on how I use it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. It's inside or outside, or
Mhm.
both. So is it right or wrong?
That's true.
So,
So do you want to end with anything else or put anything else into
yeah,
this
I
interview?
apologize for being so wordy,
No, no, no.
but I love this stuff. I'm passionate about it, and this is my life.
Exactly.
My thing is to make enough money. I've always wanted to make enough money to train and do this stuff, right?
Mhm.
And hang out with my friends. That's the life I want to live. And,
Mhm.
as long as I'm on this side of the grass, I still got a shot at it.
Yep.
All right. So just keep punching, keep doing this stuff. And yeah, I'll do this again if you want to do it again. Sit down and ask another question because we just started to scratch the surface. I'm sorry, I'm
This is
like I
just
said, I'm wordy,
scratching the surface. I told you.
but
I know I still need to interview Steve as well.
yeah, I just I mean, look, Steve has stuff experiences. Like I said, everybody's got those experiences, and all of our experiences together. Oh, okay. I'll live with this. When we were in Washington, because Steve said the same thing, because he wants to do the same thing with me, and we kind of did that.
Hmm.
And we were in Steve's dojo, and we didn't touch hands or nothing like that, but we were sitting around talking, and all of us started talking about our involvement in this and how we got involved in the martial arts. These are pretty tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
Steve's there, Leroy's there, Renato's there, Daryl's there, Chris Charles is there, Renato's there. Renato is, he doesn't like to say it, but he's an inheritor of Sonny and Pod's system.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't like to share it, but he was there with Sonny. I mean, he'll say, I'm not Sonny, but he's not supposed to be Sonny. He's supposed to be to pass on what Sonny gave him, his interpretation of what Sonny gave him.
Okay.
Just like I'm not Herb April doing this screamer,
Mm-hmm.
but let me show you what Herb gave me. And Herb used to say, you know, I like to research other people's stuff. But Herb would say, okay, these are the first 5 angles: angle 1, angle 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, the way Herb looked at it, he said, the first 5 angles in most systems are the same. He said the next 7 angles, there's usually 12 angles of attack. He said the next 7 angles are usually reverses of the first 5.
Oh, wow.
So if you can block the first 5, you can block the next 7.
That's awesome.
So that's the way I played with the screaming. For the first time I said, see, now we started that other schedule. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And when I got into the screamer, okay, just an aside, I honestly ended here.
Okay.
My guys will say that means it will be another hour. When I say, well, when Fernando had been with me for about 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was before or after we went to see Ed. Yeah, he'd been with me about 5 years. I said, well, you got everything. There's not much else I need to give you. I said, oh, did I ever show you this? He said, God, you know, Pops, I've been with you 5 years and you never told me you knew what a screamer, you know? I said, I don't. I just know the basic of what Herb gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worked fine for me. And I share that with people. I like the Filipino stuff and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, the wife calls, I guess that's how she used to get me how to handle parents, how to get my lessons. Yes, wife.